Hey family, Dad here. Hope you're having a great day. This video, I just wanted to talk about, recently I got my taxes done. I did my taxes myself, and then I also had Jackson Hewitt do my taxes as well. And just kind of wanted to share, is it worth it to do it yourself or to hire a tax preparer to do your taxes? So recently I shared that I owed taxes for this year, and then I forgot to file my taxes for 2024. Now, in the video where I forgot to file my taxes in 2024, I did pay what I owed before the tax deadline of that year. However, I had a family friend prepare my taxes for me, but I assumed they filed it for me to the IRS. And then I realized as I was doing my taxes for 2025, I couldn't submit them because 2024 taxes weren't submitted. And for 2025 taxes, I did use TurboTax. I've always used TurboTax up until last year for 2024, where I had a family friend prepare my taxes for me. In any case, with the 2024 taxes that I forgot to file, I decided just to go to Jackson Hewitt and have a tax preparer do it for me because I've never been in that situation before. When I did my 2024 taxes, or when my family friend did it, I owed roughly a little over $4,000, which I paid before April 15th of that year. So there was no penalty, but I forgot to file taxes. And so I had all the 1040, paperwork for 2024, and I just wanted to submit it. One thing I wanted to make sure is that I just did it accurately. It was going to be submitted to the IRS, and I just wasn't confident enough if TurboTax would do that. I went ahead and booked an appointment with Jackson Hewitt, with a tax preparer inside of a Walmart, and they did my taxes for me. Now, at the time when I was went into Jackson Hewitt and did my 2024 taxes, they had some sort of special going on. I think it was like $119 to do your taxes. And then after about 45 minutes of the tax preparer doing my taxes, it was accurate. What I paid to the IRS for 2024 was what the number she came up with as well. I didn't have to owe any more additionally. What Jackson Hewitt tax preparer did was just finished up all the paperwork and submitted it directly to the IRS. So for me, there was a little more calm, a little more peacefulness. At least I paid it, I just didn't file it. And then so far as we're in late April, I haven't gotten any kind of feedback or any kind of notification from the IRS saying I owe more. So now that the 2024 taxes were filed and submitted and paid on time, I went ahead and did the 2025 taxes, and I submitted it through TurboTax. I did file an extension just to kind of give myself a little cushion, but I did pay what I owed. I owed roughly about $1,000 for this year. The IRS did accept my 2025 1040 taxes. So looking back, obviously with that one mistake that I had, forgetting to file my 2024 taxes, Jackson Hewitt, which did my taxes, I thought it'd be about the same price as TurboTax. I paid about $119 to do my taxes on TurboTax. Jackson Hewitt came out to about $500. And I asked a little bit about that. I was willing to pay it, no issues, no concerns, because they did me a solid by doing my 2024 taxes and then submitting it directly to the IRS. The question I did ask was, they were promoting this $119 promotion to come in and do your taxes by a tax preparer. What the tax preparer stated to me was that's just for W-2 statements. Like if you only have W-2s and you don't have any mortgage interest, you don't have any investments, then it would just be $119. But for my situation, where I had multiple streams of income, like W-2s, investments, savings accounts, interest on that, along with mortgage interest to write off, it's going to be a lot more, she said. And that's why it was $500. She didn't know about that either before she, when she started my tax preparations for 2024. She was a little surprised too to find out it was $500. Now, I don't know if that was a sales gimmick on her end or what, but I paid it anyways because, again, like I said, I was kind of in a corner where I just needed to get my 2024 taxes not paid, but submitted and transmitted to the IRS. But looking back, if everything was equal and I had the option of doing my taxes through TurboTax or through Jackson Hewitt, I would definitely do TurboTax. I talked with her a little bit and she just said, yeah, if you just did the taxes through TurboTax like you normally did, like a normal year, you would have no problems. It would be cheaper. And mind you, the tax preparer that did my taxes through Jackson Hewitt, she wasn't a CPA. She was just a tax preparer. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but if you had more in-depth questions, more detailed questions regarding taxes and implications and kind of future, what you want to do future-wise as far as trying to minimize your tax burden, you definitely want to talk to a CPA instead of a tax preparer. So like I said, my experience, if I had the two choices, go in and do it, get it done by a tax preparer, or do it myself via TurboTax or any other tax software online, I would definitely do TurboTax. Mainly because it is cheaper and my taxes are pretty simple. So I just have W-2s, I have investments, I have savings, and then I have a mortgage. That's pretty much it. Maybe the donations as well, but I think the standard deduction for 2025 was, a better option for me versus itemizing everything. So take it for what it's worth. You got my experience doing TurboTax versus going to a tax preparer and getting your taxes done. So tell me your thoughts. What do you do for your taxes? Do you use online software, or do you actually go in and get a tax preparer to do it for you? Comment, like, subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it. So that's all I got. I'll see you all at the next video.